step into the next level. Timeless game every day of the week. Could tell you how to level up your spirit and be success driven and mind strong. Get your finances right, get your grind on. You know there's power in the stories. Tune in, this the valor of the true man. Success blueprint. The success blueprint. The success blueprint. You're looking for the blueprint.
How's it going? Welcome back, everyone, to Success Blueprint. I'm Jaime, the financial enabler, and we got Mike, the man of valor. Today, we're going to be talking about relationships, friendships from the Prosper 8 series. Again, we've been talking about purpose, radiance, ownership, skill, partnership, enjoyment, relationships, and the last one's going to be effect. So this has been a great series, and we are literally just talking about relationships and friendship, about how cool this is going to be. And I think one of the cool things is that Mike and I literally created our friendship here ever since we started doing our businesses. So I think it's a really good one, and I'm really excited for this one. So let's start with this. What is that has stood out for you in life that you maybe look back on as like, that was unexpected?
In a good way or a bad way?
Both.
Question.
Let's do both. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'll start with the bad and end with the good. In a bad way, relationships with, friendship wise, the ones that I screwed up, right? By one, either doing something stupid, saying something stupid that I felt like hurt them, hurt me, hurt our relationship as a whole, and just not being a good friend, letting my mouth get the best of me, saying things that I shouldn't say, doing things. There's been a couple of those, right? Where I'm like, man, I'm a relationship guy. How did I screw this up? Right? So much doing something dumb, finding out that, certain people put me on a certain pedestal. And every time that I hear that, I end up falling, right? Hard. Because in ruining relationships, I'm like, man, I'm no different than you. I make mistakes too. And here I am thinking that, and then I do something dumb. So I almost, in my opinion, I pulled it towards me. Because as soon as I heard that, I'm like, I'm probably going to end up screwing it up. And guess what happened? Every time it did. In a positive way, I'll say the relationship with my best friend, right? I've known him since we were 13, literally 30 years. We're 43 now, right? And still in relationship with him. He's a great brother. And just, a line in life in a lot of ways is one of those things. And then most recently, obviously, my relationship with you, bro, is like phenomenal, right? And having that I can call on for anything, any aspect of life, and know that you're not going to agree with me when I'm wrong, and you're going to make sure that I'm thinking, hey, man, what can you learn from that anyway, right? No matter what the thing is, that's been pivotal, in my opinion, for us. When I just think about our relationship as a whole, and the type of friendships that I'll look for in other people and other men especially. I don't really think I need more relationships with women in that way outside of our business. I want to be accountable to other men that are pushing and having that. So I think they're vital to my growth, vital to where I'm headed, vital to us being able to live life in a way that promotes prosperity, love, respect, every category that you can think of. So that's what I think of, right? Those have been vital for me.
Yeah. And it's funny you were just saying about the relationships that we messed up, right? It's so interesting because I recently was reminiscing on a relationship that I totally messed up. A guy I still admire and look up to, and I'm like, man, I really messed that up. But I'm sure I can still call on him, but it's just fractured. And same thing, my relationship with you, it's been actually not expected because of where we were and then how we've clicked, and it's been really valuable. And I think the uniqueness that not only you and I get along, but our girls get along, and then we can hang out and we see the business the similar way, which is totally unexpected, which I've been really totally fortunate on. And you said something that I'm just gonna, since we're here and we're talking about relationships, people putting you on a pedestal, right? Because we kind of are seeing it even right now in the situation that especially you are in, right? Because like, while I'm doing it in one environment, people don't see what you're doing in this other. Sorry, some of us see what you're doing in this other environment, but it makes you. I was thinking is that people forget the pressure that they're putting on us and the expectation that people have on you to perform.
Yeah.
When it's truly an unfair expectation in friendship, right? Because you're not anybody's employee, right? Which is very interesting that people can have those demands or requirements or whatever it may be. Do you think that? Do you feel prepared for that now? or do you still feel concern of what could have of how it could go?
Yeah, I'm way more prepared now because of what I've been through in the past, right? And keeping people around me in a circle that keep me grounded anyway. It's like, bro, you're human, chill, right? And then which is really good. And then in addition to that, knowing that I'm submitted to Christ first and foremost, it doesn't matter what pedestal people put me on. I always try to give it the glory
Mm.
back to Him. And knowing that, dude, I'm not perfect. I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm probably gonna disappoint you sometime in life. I'm gonna say something, do something, be late for something, downplay something that you thought was really big, whatever the case may be. I'm likely going to do that. So I'm leading with those things more so than I am not leading with them early on. You know what I mean? So it gives me a lot more room to be like, all right, cool, I can be human. And not that I'm looking to make mistakes, but I need to give myself enough grace to be able to make them so I don't kill a relationship, so I don't lead somebody astray, so I don't taint something that could be beautiful with my own mistakes.
Yeah.
So a lot more prepared for it now. I don't worry about it as nearly as much as I used to because I do the work, right? I'm diving into books and scripture, and I'm in groups, and I got men in my life like yourself and a couple other guys that I'm like, hey, let's talk, let's get this thing going. Like what I got, what are the places that I can grow, right? Man, I'm frustrated with this moment, right? Like this irks me. This person's, got to give him more grace than I
Yeah.
want to in the moment in this season. And so all of those things matter just because I've been through it already and I don't want to make that same mistake. And a lot of that mistake came from my own pride.
Yeah.
Understanding that, okay, they put me wherever they put me. That don't mean I have to respond in that way. Who am I to think that I'm not going to make a mistake? Who am I to think that it's going to be perfect and things that are going to go great? And so, yeah, way more prepared now than I was in the past. And as I sit back and think about it, like how could I ever even thought that I was supposed to be this guy, right? Outside of Christ, or not that I'm, I've arrived. You know what I mean? That's another form of pride in the moment that I can think about. So
Yeah.
absolutely prepared. Mhm.
And what do you, so you're prepared for it, and what do you think people, why do you think people end up alone? Because as we talk about relationships, like pivoting into that, like we have fulfilling lives, but why do you think people are so lonely, right? Because we hear I've noticed that the older that we get, that so many of our peers are alone, right?
Mhm.
They don't have as much depth of relationship, which I could say that I'm very, like, I don't feel a need to go find more friendships because I have very strong relationships right now. But what do you think people end up alone?
Two things in my mind. One is accountability, right? And then sometimes when you're the guy or girl that everybody's looking to, it's it could be difficult to find other people on that same path. And when it depends on what you're doing, it can feel like it's so niche or so different that it's not very many people like me. So we don't want to go outside of our own sphere to find new people, to put ourselves out there, to go to events or surround ourselves with other leaders that are going that way. A lot of times, in my opinion, a lot of times when you got two leaders and giants in an industry or in anything, let's just say it's church, like we feel like because we're competing on that, that means we can't necessarily be friends, right?
Yeah.
And utilize, man, we're both on this. I'm not trying to recruit you to my church. You're not trying to recruit me to your church. We're just friends and on that same level to go to, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
always. And then even outside of industry and other industries in the marketplace, somebody could be in finance, somebody else could be in real estate, somebody else could be in different aspects of finance, whatever the case may be. We're always feeling like, well, mine is the best. So if you're not leading what I'm doing, then I need to be pulling you to what I'm doing instead of, no, man, you're a great leader. What you're doing, keep doing what you're doing. How can we learn and grow from each other? How can we stay accountable? We both have $10 million organizations. Let's see what that leadership piece looks like, right? And actually have somebody that I can pull from and pour into, and we're on the same, you know what I mean? Like we headed in the same direction, just in different industries, right? We both gonna lead people, got influence, gonna make impact, have some significance and contribution. Let's stay aligned in this way, right? You might be helping 100 people get to, $1 million, and I might be helping 100 people get to $1 million in my industry, whatever the case may be. Can we reach 100,000 souls, right, in Christ? And I got the same goal in my city, or whatever the case may be. We don't have to compete on that level. We can still grow together in different industries. And I think a lot of times we forget that, in my opinion, when it comes down to it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's I mean, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. So, and I was going to ask you, right? when it comes down to it, how on earth, why do people like stay so busy instead of connecting? Like we replace the busyness with connect, like we replace connection with busyness. Like I'm too busy to connect with other people. You know what I mean? I think that is a contributing factor to being lonely. Why do you think we do that?
I think it's because I think in the modern world, we have this illusion of activity.
Mm.
Like that if you're doing stuff, you're making money, right? Or if you're doing stuff, you're building relationships. But in reality, we don't need to be doing anything. We just gotta be focused. I mean, right now, like the intentionality, right? Like I could spend less time with somebody if I give it a lot more value, more intention. And I think that you and I have seen this a lot, the difference between showing up and being there, but when you're actually there, they're there, right? I don't think enough people are there,
Mm.
right? And it's obviously it's because in the modern world, there's so many things to do, so many tasks, whether it's our job, our business, our profession, or our kids, family, that we are not as present in the moments with people. And I think that that would say it's a contributing factor into the loneliness, the lack of depth of relationship. And I mean, I tell myself every day that I got to be present. So whenever I try to catch myself not being present. So yeah.
And that leads me to the next thing. Like that was really good. What did you trade for progress without noticing it? Right throughout when it comes to relationships, what did you trade off? Was there a trade off or something that you said, you know what, I'm going to give this up just so I can have a relationship? What is that thing?
Man, for progress in a relationship, for example, I'm thinking of one right now. There's a relationship I want to foster, and I know I got to lose money to foster that relationship because it requires me stepping away from my business to foster that relationship. But that is a hard thing to do because I want to, but again, it's like I'm ignoring the possibility of what could be in that relationship also. So yeah, I think that that's one. Let's say you give up the progress in your hobbies, right? Which I know that I didn't have as strong relationships as I could have with some of my friends in the military because I was skydiving so much. So I gave up the friendship for the progress. So, now I don't skydive and I wish I had a deeper relationship, right? So now with the people that I do have a deep relationship, I'm definitely striving to keep them around and strengthen them. I think that is more important now. And I think it's always a give and take, right? And it takes us, and to that same point, maybe I had to lose those relationships to be ready to commit to my relationship with you and Candace, right? It's like, okay, now let's see, a hunting trip as important. Because case in point, like we're hunting, but we're going to Houston also, right? This was more important, right, than whatever that could be. So I come to you a lot with faith things. When it comes to, and I always ponder this, I know that we need men and women that are in walk with Christ around us, right? And what is your criteria? How do you choose these people that you allow them to sharpen you? Because there's people that we're around that are value added, but actually sharpen you. How do you decide that?
Yeah, I don't think I look for a thing. Well, okay, I do. I look for their ability to learn and how humble they are. Because it takes a humble man or woman to realize that they need to be submitted to Christ and that they don't know everything when it comes down to it. Right. So I'm looking for people who are like, man, I'm submitted to who God is. I know I do my work. I do the research. I'm going to study. I'm going to read. I'm going to build my relationship that way. And when you do that and don't think you know it all, I mean, it's so much easier to be like, man, me neither, bro. Here's what I learned. Tell me what you learned on this. And here's how I read the scripture. Here's how I read this. And this is what I'm going through right now. I read this book on Christianity in this way, and it helped me here. Or, man, I'm searching for those pieces. And every time with people that are submitted and humble like that, it's so much smoother for me. And not thinking that I have to be the one. Like, I'm not looking for a person that feel like they always got to be pouring, always giving, always look, hey man, let me help you. Let me get there. And let me tell you what I learned. It's like, no, man, like we just do life, right? Like it's just life. And now, do I have people in my life that I look for those things from? Absolutely. That's called a mentor to me. Right. But when I've got a friendship with God, I'm like, bro, we just doing life. If it so happened that things come up and I got a question, or man, I screwed something up. Man, I screwed this up. And I'm looking for them to, man, me too, been there before. right? Or, man, I haven't
Nice.
experienced that yet. Man, how can I help you? Like, I have no idea, but I just needed to be accountable to somebody, right? Or here's what I'm thinking about. Here's what I'm wrestling with. So that's what I look for is people that are
Yeah.
open to having that conversation without going through the craziness, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I look for sure, because it brings me to a place where I make sure I stay humble because I don't know it all. And when I read something, I don't necessarily have all the answers, or I didn't see that perspective and that point of view. And I want that from other people because it only makes us better to sharpen,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
And I've been thinking a little bit about that. So, when people are in a hurry to be like, "Oh, let me tell you about this," and I'm like, I didn't really care to know, like,
sure,
you know,
sure.
and not looking for it. When it's so much better when people, you know, and you put yourself again in every relationship. There's a pecking order on the activity, right? And I think that with the people that think they're at the top and have to give the most value in everything are not right. Like you got to be able to put yourself down in something to allow other people to sharpen you, right? Case in point, I think it's a really good analogy. You want to get a knife sharper, you go to the blacksmith, but the blacksmith doesn't try to build your house.
Exactly.
Right? It's like he has to know it's like I'm really good at sharpening stuff, but I don't do that other things. And I
Hmm.
think that not enough people do it in a relationship. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: do you think you have real friends or just proximity relationships?
Uh
And second part too, how do you define it? The
I
difference.
think I have a lot less take back. I think I want less friends
Mm,
now, right? Because I realize that to have really good friends, they require a lot more time, right? So again, let's just use you guys for an example, is that, I can't go to 3 Christmases and 3 Thanksgivings. There's only 2 holidays. So how do you shake this up, right? Who do I want to spend more time with, right? And I think that, like, I mean, I haven't told you this, but now I'm gonna say it here because it's cool. I told Tanya, it's like we should strive to attempt to do a holiday with you guys for the foreseeable future. I think that'd be really cool, right? And I think that that is a worthy investment in our relationships,
yeah.
right? But then I have a lot of people around me, and I think you do too. We have a lot of people around us, but and like learning from our mentors, like I don't think he has a lot of friendships in close proximity to him,
Mm,
but I'm sure he has other friendships that we don't see, or depth of friendship with other people we don't see. Which that's why, and not that I'm not open to it, but there has to be a matter of like who's going to commit to me also, right? Which I think that once you have people that commit to you, then you're like, okay, I'm gonna invest in you, right?
mhm,
And I think that that is a matter of time, and because I see a lot of people that are like, oh, I have all these friends, or we go golfing with all these guys, and I'm like, that's really good, but I feel that a lot of those are acquaintances,
mm,
you know, unless you've had a long-term relationships, right? Which some people do. I
yeah.
just don't have those because of the military. And then some of those friends came and went, and I've come and gone. So now I'm open to more friendships, but I'm not in a hurry to pursue them. I do believe I have more people around me. How about,
Yeah, for sure. I think I'm more of a friend to most people than they are to me.
yes.
Right. Like, and that's okay, right? It's not comparison. It's just who I am. I think, so we did this study, a men's study, maybe 2 years ago now, and we were talking about what does it look like to have friends and build friends. And one of the guys was talking to him. He's like, yeah, I have this friend who's just so good. Like he's so considerate. He's always calling, always thinking about me. Like, hey man, how you doing? Checking in. And I'm overwhelmed with how good he is because I feel like I can't live up to it. And I
Mm.
was like, huh. So it made me ask some people in my circle, do you feel this way? And they're like, absolutely. I feel that way about you. And I was like, oh, wow. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn by no means. I'm just a relationship guy, right? I'm a connector. I'm a connector. Love having relationships. I reach out to people all the time. That's just what I do, right? So I don't expect other people to do it. I didn't realize the pressure it puts on other people to be that for me or try to do that same thing. And I'm like, I don't need you to do the same thing. I just need you to be you and in that way, whatever that looks like. So just who I am. So for me, I think I do have I have some real friends for sure. I mean, like yourself, yeah, you and Tanya, y'all are awesome for us. And we have, other real friendships, but we also have a lot of people who are in proximity to us that are just want to be in a relationship to pull from rather than add to value to. I think that's probably how a deciding factor for me.
And I think I think that I agree. Like if I had to say what makes a friendship is, I think it's a good way. How much you seek to receive from that person, right? And the other part is if it's equally matched by their desire to receive from you.
Mm,
Because if not, it's proximity, right?
yeah.
You and I have a lot of people that we want to give, and then there's the people that we want to take. But when you are in a give and take, now we're in a friendship,
Hmm.
right? I was telling somebody, it's like I look forward to you talking, or look forward to you training. I look forward to you like giving to people because I can just shut up and listen.
Yeah.
And I really value it. And I think that that's at the same time, I know that we can have our trust, and I think that that's what, like, friendship, trust is a factor, but I think that there's also maybe I'm very practical, like there's a practicality to relationships. There's a trust to relationships. And you can have very practical relationships that don't have deep trust, right? And they start building on it. And I think a lot of people are like, oh, they're not my friend because I don't trust them yet. And I'm like, do you have any idea how much trust you need for people to, like, you got to earn that,
Yes.
right? But you can have a really good friendship that doesn't have deep trust yet. So I think that is knowing and showing up with the humility of the giving and the taking, and not demanding the giving and the taking to go even deeper, right? Because if I just call you and it's like, help me, help me, help me, do, then it's not a friendship,
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people nowadays, they are not in a hurry to be deep with relationships because they text so much.
Mm,
Text has led to very superficial relationships.
absolutely.
And it's so easy to avoid.
Yeah.
That is so frustrating to me. I have a friend right now that a guy that I consider a friend, that he's not replying to me. And I'm like, like, one text message is fine, but 2 months, I'm like, are you mad at me? It's like, and if you are, just tell me, what did I do? Like, let me know what's up, because maybe I did mess up, but I
Yeah.
think that would be a good way to frame a friendship. And another thing with friendships is that they don't always have to be public.
100%.
Yeah. Like, we
100%.
don't know. I'm willing to bet that we don't know most of famous people's friends,
No, not at all.
and that's okay,
Mhm.
but I think that, like, for example, in what you and I do, people know it, but it's because we have created a depth of relationship beyond. We don't only drink together. Like, I know that you and I can go and get hammered together, but then the next day we can do business together. And so we've had a multifaceted relationship, while people are just, and we see it, that people come in and just take on the business, or just
Mm.
take on faith or relationship. And it's like, dude, this is not a friendship.
Yeah. Yeah. I like to define it like, think about who knows the truth about your life. Those are real friends, right?
Yeah.
The person, I keep seeing this thing on Instagram. Is like, my best friend, when I die, has one goal, one thing: get my phone, bury the evidence, like delete everything. My best friend knows everything. Like, I'm like, okay, cool. I understand what they're saying. Unfortunately, like, there's nothing you should have to take out of my phone, in that way. But I understand what they're trying to say. Like, who knows really you? Who knows the truth about your life? And the things that we hide from everybody else, the things that nobody else will ever know in the dark. You know what I mean? Like the things that make
Yeah.
us tick and that irritate us, or the things that we're like, man, this is just one of my vices and I just love to do it, but it can't be for public consumption. Not necessarily
Yeah.
that wrong,
Yeah.
right? Or bad, but it's just not for public consumption because everybody can't handle it, right? Or whatever that thing may is. I don't know, right? I'm just giving examples. I'm not saying we have that. However, who knows the truth about your life, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that helps decide for me who is considered a friend, right? So
Yeah.
here's the question I have for you: are your friendships built on convenience or commitment?
I think they're built on commitment, but I would be ignorant to say, I think it would be ignorant to ignore the value of convenience in some friendships. Like, if you and I weren't traveling as much as we do for the business, it would be much harder for us to have this depth of relationship. So on that aspect, it's very convenient. Now, we know we're going to see each other every month, give or take. It's convenient, right? But I was thinking about this too. The inconveniences of our relationship, I think, is a benefit. With, like, what you guys told us yesterday, right? About those other people. I was like, I'm glad that we're not there, because that inconvenience also allows, like, kind of like being away in a relationship, right? It allows some fondness, which then requires commitment.
Yes.
So you need both, right?
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people build, for crying out loud, that's why people cheat on their spouses with their secretaries. It's not any better. It's just convenient.
Sure.
So the relationships, good or bad, can happen on convenience. That's what we have. People say, like, the trend is like, my work wife,
Mm.
right? Chris, remember Chris this Saturday, he says, my
You
work
just
wife.
said that.
And it's like, makes sense. Totally convenient. You see this person every day. And again, for anybody listen, that's not the example. I'm not correlating those two things that I just said on the cheating and the other one. It was just going on the sentence. We have convenience is a factor. And then it's on the people to commit.
Mm.
Right? And I think that that's where you and I have done that. It's like, cool, it's convenient. Now let's commit. And we've committed. And our girls have committed.
Yeah.
And I think that that has allowed our relationship to get even better because I see a lot of people that don't commit.
Yeah.
So many people don't commit. And yeah, I think, what about you? What are your,
I'd say yes and, right? I'd say convenience and commitment, right? Because there's a lot of people that we conveniently see a lot of people, right?
Mhm.
Especially doing what we do, traveling. And I'm not saying we don't have relationships with those people by no means. Like we do. They're great people. Don't get us wrong. However, we convenient and we committed to this, right? To being able to have a one, like we recently talked about our mastermind vision where we could be headed in the same direction, right? And that's not a conversation we're having with everybody, right? And that's okay. Hopefully they're having their conversations with their groups too that we're not a part of, which I hope so, right?
Yeah.
By no means am I thinking we want to be exclusive to that, right? It's just us. But that convenience of us being able to travel and know we're going to see each other, and at the same time saying, no matter what, we're going to see each other. We're going to make it happen and be committed to our growth, committed to accountability, committed to, hey man, here's what I'm thinking. Here's what help my thinking on this. Like change. I don't understand this, or I'm frustrated in this area. Please help. And we have that, which is really good. And I think it takes time to get there because I think there's a level of maturity that has to take place from both people. And where you're headed in life matters more than what we give credit to. Because if we go ahead.
So, and to wait, sorry, I interrupted you. Where you're headed is why I called you about that mastermind thing.
100%.
Because I realized it was like, and this is kind of where I was mad because every time that I've read that chapter, I always think of you. But I always wondered, how do I actually do this? How do I actually do this? How does this make sense to do this? We're already doing it. We have a group. And then like I was like, I read the paragraph again and I was like, that's what this means. And the only reason why in that book they did it that way, and just so you guys know, is Think and Grow Rich, and it's talking about Andrew Carnegie, is because they were all trying to build the greatest steel empire. So in a greatest steel empire, they still needed, for example, a uniform company. They still needed cars and trains and all this. So they needed people that were doing their lines of work very well for the sake of steel. And that's when it clicked. And I think that is the part in the commitment that is like, how do we do things and we align with people faster, right? And now that we have a direction, which in our case, we have our individual direction, we have our relationship direction, and we have our team direction, but then we can easily just be like, okay, how do we get to point A and D, but at the same time get us both to C? And that's totally cool. We can get to both of those, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll change it. Like, I think that, I don't know if you know this, but like Elon Musk just changed his whole plan. He doesn't want to go to Mars. He just wants to go to the moon because it's a stepping stone now. And I was like, you change these goals and metrics, but yeah, the where you're going is often more important with where you are. And you part of friendship is like, I like this phrase a lot. I'm sure you caught it too, is that you and I are not having fun. We're having some fun.
Yeah.
But it's not all fun, but we need to have some fun.
Yeah, some fun for sure.
Yeah, I love that phrase, dude. I'll forever copy that guy. It's like, you don't need to have fun. You just got to have some fun.
That's all you need.
Some people out here having too much fun. Just have some.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, since we're a little late in this, let me ask this one question for you. I mean, we kind of talked about character a little bit already, but does your circle point you towards God or comfort when it comes to faith-based, right? That's a big question. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You tell me.
Right now, outside of you and some people in the business, it's all pulling me towards comfort. But that's actually part, I believe, why I've disassociated with so many people. When I'm not in a hurry to foster that, because like, I don't want to go drinking with people. I don't want to do, and for me, my biggest struggle is food, right? I went to a Super Bowl thing this weekend and there was food. And I'm like, damn it. A normal overeat. I was like, I do not know. I haven't figured out how to overcome this. I can fast for days, but you put free unlimited food in front of me. So I think that that's something I've been struggling. How I find more people that point me towards God versus the comfort. What about you?
Yeah. Most of my real friendships, should I say, they all point me towards Christ. Every
Mhm.
last piece of it, they're all pushing that way. And we're not all in the same field. We're not all in the same journey, but we do have the same purpose, which is to bring people closer to Christ and us to get closer in that way. I do have non-Christian friends, right, who still point me to purpose, who still want that, right? They don't necessarily believe what I believe. I believe in surrounding myself with other folks because my job as a Christian is to bring people closer to God, right? And I don't judge them where they are. Stay there, right? Or, listen, I'm just going to love you the way Christ loves you. And then those actions and everything you see will compel you to want to know more about God. That's what I believe, right? Personally. However, the majority of my friendships are pushing me towards Christ, right? The
Mhm.
ones that's pulling me towards comfort, I call them associates. In fact, I immediately disassociate with them as a friend. It doesn't matter if we've been friends for 10 years, 5 years, 5 minutes. If you pulling me towards comfort versus anytime I tell you, oh yeah, I'm doing this, this, and this, and it's pushing me towards comfort or get me a, and they're like, ah, man, but it's easier to just do this. You immediately move from me, from the friend zone to an associate, like a person that
Mhm.
I can hang with in certain spaces, right? In certain things. So, and that's okay. Maybe I just want to have fun and maybe go play golf or go whatever. Right. Cool.
Mhm.
I leave you in that box. And usually those same people are calling me to help pull them out of something, right? To give them some hope or some encouragement or pray for me in this way or man, what did you do for this? Right. And I'm cool with that. They're associates. They're not friends who I can count on to say, hey man, how do we grow closer to God and in purpose and get after this thing for our families to hit our goals.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I've been looking for more of that, of people that bring me closer to God, and that's why I think that, and I spoke to you about this, is like, that's why we haven't gone to an in-person church,
Mm,
because I felt that I needed to I have felt a calling to create an environment at home for for the guys.
hmm
That's what I believe right now is where I need to be, because I do go to a great church, right? I just do it on YouTube, which obviously has its pros and cons. But if I can create this environment for others, then the things that it's lacking, I'll have at home. I'll have at the
hmm
office. And it's good to talk to people about that. So yeah, that's definitely something that I'm searching and want to expand on. Man,
Well,
friendship. This was really deep, but we're definitely we got to come back to all of them. So
we have to. We have to. Let me leave them with this. It's just some questions to ask them for this week, right?
okay.
When you're thinking about friendships, I'll give you 5. Here's the first one. Who has the most influence in your life right now, right? Who is that? Is that a person? Is it God? Is it whatever? Your spouse? Whatever that looks like. Number 2, do your friendships align with your future or your past? Really good question right there. Right. Number 3 is who can speak truth into your life without resistance? That's big too, because a lot of times we don't like it, right? We don't want to hear the truth from people. And so we don't even allow them to do that. Number 4, are you modeling the kind of friend you want to be or you want to attract? Right. A lot of us, and I think the word is in order to find a friend, I got to show myself friendly. So it's a
Yeah.
great thing. And the last one is where might God be asking you to set boundaries in your friendships? So there's some questions that people can think about over the next, couple days, over the next week, just to ponder. Man, how are my relationships working? How are these friendships working for me? Relationships, it should be equal benefit for everybody, right? I heard it this way. All ships are designed to take you somewhere. Friendships, relationships, you know what I'm saying? Ships, right? It should be taking you somewhere. Is it taking you to your past or to your future to get you closer to where you called to? So I'll leave them
Yeah.
with that.
It's a good question. So if you want to answer them, put them on the YouTube channel. Make sure you follow and subscribe this. So thank you for being here, guys. This is the success blueprint. Let's go.